Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Oh, good times. Hello, and welcome to Inking on the Fly. I'm Amy Jasper. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in BC, Canada. And today I get to share with you the Batter Up Paper Pumpkin Kit from the month of May. So I haven't even opened it yet, so I am unboxing it before your very eyes. It's you know what, to be honest, completely honest, I'm not a baseball player, but I have a feeling there will be lots of uses for this kit, so I'm excited. Oh, gum! I forgot about the gum. I heard about the gum. We have double bubble gum. I wonder if it's like hard as a rock or if it's actually chewable. Maybe I'll chew it at the end and see what we end up with. Okay, so in the kit. Wait, do you know what paper pumpkin even is? I'm sure if you've watched my videos in the past, you know what paper pumpkin is. But I'm going to tell you anyways, so bear with me if you already know this. But paper pumpkin is a all-inclusive kit that Stampin' Up! Provides to people who subscribe to the kit, and they get the kit every month. And you don't know what it is. We get sneak peeks now, so that's kind of fun. But you don't really know the details about the kit before you get it. So it's kind of a fun, like, mini creative escape that comes to your door, and gives you an opportunity to just make the cards as they are, or you can do some alterations and adaptations and use the stamp set for alternate projects. So it's kind of a fun thing. I believe it's about $30 a month to pay for the prescription. It could be a subscription or a prescription. It could be a prescription because it is very good for your health. Just saying. Good therapy, right? $30 a month to pay monthly, or you can prepay and save a little bit of money. So I prepay a whole 12 months all at once. And that way I technically get 1 month for free, and I get host rewards. And I usually do it around celebration time, so that means I get extra celebration items. So yeah, that's what I do. But that's a big chunk of change all at once. So if you're not into that big chunk of change all at once, then the monthly subscription is a good way to go, because then you know what you're paying every month. Okay, we have some stamps. We have You're the Greatest, You're the Best, All-Star. We have a baseball bat, a hat. The greatest of all time. That's goat. I'm seeing a mashup of stamp sets happening soon. Totally. Okay. We have a goat stamp set. So we've got brother, we've got ever, grandpa, friend, uncle, son, dad, and I'm pretty sure I said mom already. No aunts, daughters, but that's okay. We can make it work. Pretty cool. Okay, nice big stamps. And we have a Knight of Navy for our ink spot today. I put the ink spots aside, as you know, and I grab my larger ink pad of the same color so that I can use that. And then we get a sneak peek of the next kit. Woohoo! I love this paper. So this paper, or this image that is on this paper, the image here is of some of the designer series paper in the new catalog, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited about this kit because it's going to be gorgeous too, simply because it has this paper. So next month Next month's kit, Ink Stained Projects with June's Paper Pumpkin Kit, featuring colors from the In Color collections. And you make 9 cards. There's coordinating envelopes, of course, 2 classic Stampin' Spots. Ooh, that's fun. And an exclusive stamp set, and it's all wrapped up in a cute, colorful, and collectible box. What? So that's fun. I'm excited about that. So if you're interested in this kit, make sure you subscribe before June 10th, or be subscribed before June 10th, or prepay and put your prepaid item in before June 10th. Those are your options to make sure you get that kit. It's beautiful, or it's going to be beautiful. I've seen pictures of the box. I don't think I've seen pictures of the cards. But yes, it's if it's anything like the paper in the maybe I can show you the paper. If it's anything like the paper in the catalog, oh, they have the paper on the cover. So if it's anything like this paper in the catalog, the June kit is going to be gorgeous. So pretty. Look at that. It's such pretty paper. So nice. Okay. Let's get to this. Has anybody ever been to a baseball game? Like a real, like, well, sorry, they're all real, but like a, Blue Jays, or I don't know what the other teams are. I don't do sports like that, really. I'm more of an individual sport kind of gal, not much of a team sport gal. But I did go to a baseball game, and I believe I'm pretty sure it was the Blue Jays. But who's to know? It's so long ago. And I had a blast. I didn't care who did what. I cheered for both teams. People were looking at me funny. It was a high school field trip. We went out. Where did we go? I feel like we went to Seattle, but maybe not. It was either Seattle. Yes, we did. We ended up in Seattle, but I can't remember why. I think it had to do with, was it Seattle or was it Vancouver? Now I'm not so sure. Anyway, we ended up going to see, it was a drama trip, because I'm a drama geek. So we ended up going to a baseball game, a proper professional baseball game, as part of our trip. And it was so fun. I just had a blast. I just sat in the bleachers and laughed and cheered for both sides, and it was just a hoot. Okay, in the kit we have some white baker's twine and dimensionals, which is awesome because you know me, I love dimensionals. Well, let's look at the thingy. Let's look at the thingy and find out what it tells us. Ooh, fun. Oh, I like this one. That's super cute. They're all super cute. This one just makes me want to eat the bubble gum for some reason. I think just that image, right? Okay. Let's have a peek and see what they... Ooh! You notice something different? Anyone? We have color instructions, you guys. It's color. You know what that means? We don't have to try to, and they're bigger too. See, we don't have to squint our eyes to try to figure out what in the world is going on. This is so exciting. And if you notice, they have numbers that go with each picture. So 1, 2, 3, up to 4. Do they have any more numbers, or is it just up to 4? Looks like it's up to 4. And then when you go... Where does it tell us what those numbers mean? It doesn't. What in the heck? What in the heck? And I don't know what's... Okay, I have to navigate this now because they have numbers. Maybe it's just step 1 and then steps 1, 2, 3, because they used to have the numbers represent certain things that you do, like stamping is number 1 or whatever, and putting dimensionals on would be step number, or labeled number 3. But instead, there's no words. It's all images. This is like, makes me think of IKEA, folks. No words, just pictures. This could be good, because it's, you know, a universal language, or it could be challenging. So let's see what we've got here. So step one, it shows us pictures of dimensionals on the back of an image, so that goes on there. Step two, it shows an ink spot. Look at these. I know what these are. An ink spot. Put the ink on the stamp and then stamp it on the little banner thingy. And then here it tells you 4.5 inches of twine or baker's twine. And then you put, oh, see, a dimensional on one side, a glue dot on the other. Okay, I'm getting this. This is, yeah, I'm jiving with this. I get this. This is going to work for me. Okay, so what does it contain? Does it tell us the list of supplies? Because I always like to be able to call things the proper names, but I'm not seeing coordinates. It tells us what it coordinates. So colors, here it says coordinates with bumblebee, night of navy, Pacific point, real red, smoky slate, soft suede, and white. They're not even calling, but they can't call it basic white, and because it's not the same as basic white, it's a little bit different color. So it's just white. What else does it show us? See, I have to kind of familiarize myself. It doesn't give us a list of supplies, interestingly. Usually they have like a list that says this includes, I mean, we know it's 9 cards and envelopes. I guess they have a picture instead. Again, with the pictures. It's like IKEA. What? Okay, so I just don't know what to call everything. I'm assuming it's baker's twine and not linen thread. We'll just go with that. That's probably the only thing that I'm like, what do you call that? But okay, cool. And here's some kind of alternative projects that they can suggest to us as well. And you can watch detailed instructions for the kit by scanning the QR code with your phone. Handy dandy. And then more about Paper Pumpkin on social media, of course, because we're all about social media these days, right? How did we ever get along without social media before? I will never know. So this is baker's twine. It's nice and thin. Baker's twine. Some baker's twine is a bit on the thick side. I like it thinner for sure. Dimensionals. I like to work with the packs I already have going down. I even have some packs from past Paper Pumpkins, so we'll start with those. Okay, and then I always keep my little chipboard backing. As nasty as it might look, this is very useful for making other things, so I will put that aside. We have the adhesive dots, and as you know, I tend to still go with my own mini glue dots just because they're just easier for me to get off the roll. I just find it's a lot more easy, just easy. Then we have some envelopes that have a nice little liner color on the inside, which is lovely. Great color. Are they all the same? It looks like they're all the same. Then we have some sort of enamel dots, adhesive backed, in ketchup and mustard colors. Because, you know, hot dogs and baseball, they kind of are like peas and carrots, or horse and carriage. They kind of go together. We have some very small little wee labels. And we have some, let's get these organized here. These are die cuts that we can pop out that are pre-printed. Fun. Again, with like a lot of ketchup and mustard colors. I wonder if that's the color of any specific baseball team. And then we have a bunch of, I'll pull out one of each. These are the card bases. Ooh, fun. Okay, so the card bases, we have this one. It's hard. Oh yeah, you can see it's got like a wood grain, like a baseball bat wood grain. That's awesome. And then we have the stripy cotton kind of baseball jersey material. And then I don't really know what this is. This a baseball? Why does this make me think of Japan? Isn't this the old Japanese flag? I'm so confused with that one. Anyways, it looks pretty cool. I just don't understand how this relates to baseball. So if you know how this relates to baseball, please let me know, because I'm not familiar with that particular image connecting with baseball. It's a sun, a red sun. I don't know. Tell me, give me your wisdom, because I don't know these things. Okay, so what am I doing? I need my instructions. Where did I put them? I need them. I need the instructions because I have no idea what's happening here. Okay, back to the instructions. We have our IKEA instructions. So we're going to start with the first card. So they have them. I'm just looking here again. Okay, so on this page, they show us all the supplies that we need for each of the cards that they've designed. Hi, Cindy. I'm so glad that you could join us. That's awesome. It's nice to see your name come up. I'm just sharing the Batter Up May Paper Pumpkin Kit, and they have new instructions. This is cool. So yeah, so they show you what you need for each of the cards that they've designed. Cindy, do you know what this means? Because I have no idea. Like, that symbol is not familiar to me. Maybe it's just meant to be like a kapow kind of thing. I don't know how that relates to baseball. It makes me think of the old Japanese flag. Anyways, what else? Okay, so I know that these are the things I need for that card. And those. Okay, so now I know where to look when I need to know what I need for my cards. And then on this side, it breaks it down per card. So let's just do that. We'll do per card. We'll start with the old Japanese flag card base. Again, it looks cool. So it might just be like a kapow kind of a thing, like smack it out of the ballpark, you know? We'll just go with that. So let's fold that in half. And I'm already, as I'm doing these and pulling all this stuff out and making all these discoveries with this kit, I'm trying to come up with new ideas in my brain so that I can have some alternative projects for you guys next week. Okay, so this one I also need this element here. You know what else this makes me think of? Oh my gosh, do you remember the Tom Hanks movie? When was that? It must have been 1990, I don't know, somewhere in the 90s, mid-90s. Tom Hanks and Gina Davis, and I don't remember who else off the top of my head. They were in a movie called A League of Her Own. And it was about all the women, or about women's baseball, and how I guess it was, I think the people were at war, going to war. I can't remember. Was it in the 40s? And so the women kind of became the entertainment for baseball because all the baseball players had gone off to war. And Tom Hanks, his famous line that I remember is, "There's no crying in baseball." Yeah, anyways, I'm going to have to watch that movie. I wonder, sometimes it's interesting to watch some of those older movies that we loved. And sometimes when we watch them, we still love them and they're still amazing. And then sometimes we watch them and we're like, what was I thinking? This is the worst movie ever. So I have no idea. I mean, it's a comedy, that particular movie. So I suspect it will be still funny. Yeah, anyway, that's my little side note. Okay, so I put this one's really fast. Okay, so they have this down, kind of, it's not square. Is it square? I'm looking at the images. It Looks like it is slightly to the right and down. And as you know, I like to make the cards as they are the first time around. So I am choosing to, I don't know if that's kind of where they put it, but I'm choosing to have a kind of an even border in this lower corner. So those aren't even. Yeah. Okay, and then it has a stamp, Grandpa. Okay, I've got to take a minute here because Father's Day is coming up. I have a couple of birthdays coming up that I could be thinking of for this. Not a whole lot else. We can go with, I don't know. You know, the other thing about you're in a league of your own, that sentiment always sounds a little bit sarcastic. Well, you're in a league of your own, you know, like, aren't you special? Okay. I don't know. Grandpa, Dad, let's go Dad. Sometimes these stamps are sticky when they first come out. Okay. So I have the hand, if you have paper pumpkin, you'll have a block. Your very first block will come with your very first paper pumpkin kit, and then you always have that one block to work with. So I've told you before that every time we start with a new stamp set, we need to clean up some of the residue on the back of the stamp. And I didn't get my cleaner ready. So is it still damp? Yes. Okay, good. So this is my Simply Chamois tool. I'm just going to give this a quick rub on the Simply Chamois to make sure that any residue is cleaned off. And I need my label. Where did it go? Oh, there they are. I did play baseball, like a beer league kind of baseball. It was okay. I think it's kind of a boring game to play. It's fun to watch, but I think it's kind of boring to play because if you're not pitching or hitting, you're just standing around waiting for the ball to come to you. I find it a little bit boring, but that's just me. So this Dad is it's shorter than, they've got Grandpa, which fills the whole space. So I'm going to use Dad, which is shorter. So I don't know. I guess I'll just put it in the middle. Smack dab in the center. Or smack dad, if you will. Oh, I should have been a dad. I'm like the queen of dad jokes. Okay. So we've got that one. And in the instructions, if you didn't catch that earlier, they have a dimensional on one side and a adhesive dot on the other, because this is already up on dimensionals. So you want an adhesive dot under the label on top of this already dimensionaled up piece, and then you want a dimensional under the other side. So make sure you pick the right side for those pieces. And I think all these just fit, these great big things. I'm not used to using the big ones anymore. I use the minis so much now. Okay, so they have the twine tucked underneath, so maybe I better put the twine on first. But while I'm at it, let's just get that adhesive dot, or glue dot in this case, on that side. And then I need, where did my twine go? There we go. And they say 4.5 inches of twine, and it's just, oh, they don't even tie it, it looks like. It's just looks tied. So let's go with their exact measurements, 4.5. That's tiny, hey? This is a good way to be frugal with your twine by not bothering with a knot. You just just roll it, or fold it, sorry, into 3, like that, and then put a glue dot down. Oops, oh, and I threw it, it stuck to my hand and it got tossed aside. Okay, so then we can have a glue dot. I'm just going to use the take your pick tool. You can see how mucky my take your pick tool is because I do this all the time, and I pull pieces of paper apart with this particular piece. And they've put this, I don't know, right about there. So then I can fold my twine on there. So I'm going to fold it first just so I get the measurements, or my dividing correct, equal, like that. The other kind of benefit of this folding technique, because if you don't need to see that it has a knot, then there's no need to tie it, right? So if you're folding it like this and then covering that up, you don't get that weird, sometimes you get weird twisting with baker's twine because it's twisted. It's, what do you call that? Anyway, it's like yarn, right? It's twisted. There, and then Dad can be right there. Anyways, sometimes it twists when you tie a knot. So if you're not tying a knot, then you don't get any twisting. Oh, I'm not done yet. I have some of those enamel dots to put on. So they've put a red one up there, yellow one down there, and another yellow one up there. I love it when they show me where to put the dots because I take way too long to put the dots on. It's cute, right? I think it's a cute card. Super cute. I don't have, well, some of my uncles play baseball, so maybe I should have picked Uncle. This one is very baseball, right? But I mean, the sentiment's good. That fits, even if they're not a baseball person. Okay. So that is card number 1, super fast. Let's see what is behind card number 2. Okay, number 2 card. We're going to make this one next. That's kind of fun. Big old baseball on that one. So for that card, we need our baseball jersey patterned card base. We need a baseball. We need this red piece here, this banner piece, or whatever you want to call it, label. We need a couple of baseball bats. These are kind of slow to get out of here. They're very well attached. And I don't want to tear them, right? So I have to be careful. And we need the All-Star. What else do we need? I think that's it for paper pieces. Awesome. And then they show us, what is that supposed to represent? Oh, a block. Okay. There's an image on there. This is just what you need, and they have this, and that's the block that you need. And then, of course, the ink spot. Okay, so we can fold this in half. Card base. I like this striped pattern. I'm all about stripes. I really like stripes. And I need the instructions again. Okay, so then we have this piece here going across the middle, and it has little, I don't know, yeah, can you see that? It has little kind of nibbly bits where it popped out of the, like where the die it was attached to the, I don't know, piece of paper that it was in. So I'm just going to trim those off and tidy that up a bit. And the instructions, as cool as, I have to keep showing you these instructions because they're way cool. So these represent, excuse me, these represent the adhesive dots that you need to put behind those elements, right? And then here we have, we've got the ink on the stamp, and you stamp that on the ball. And then dimensionals behind those elements and put those on. And then the enamel dots on top of that. So they make it super easy. I love this new way of doing instructions. Oh, so I'm not following the instructions. I'm not using the glue dots because this is straight on stamping. Glue dots and adhesive dots, I think of those as necessary for specialty kind of things that you can't use like ribbon, right? Things that you can't use glue for. Okay, so they have these handy dandy lines, so I can literally count the lines. I've got 4 on that side, 4 on that side. So I am centered right off the bat. Look at me go. So the lines make that easy. And then using my grid lines can help me to make sure that I am straight, which is good. And again, they use glue dots, but I'm just going to use my liquid glue. I probably could have trimmed off some of my excess nibbly bits off this one too, but it is on a white background, so those nibbly bits probably won't show too much. I'm going to lay this out because I have no idea how I want them yet. I'm laying them out just so I have like an idea of where I want these to be so that they're close to, and again, I can use these lines and decide if this is centered. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's center, right where the base. So that's pretty good. Okay, so now I know that they're going to be centered. And honestly, it doesn't really matter if they're not centered. You could even not center them on purpose. And then again, pop that on. And that's pretty good. And maybe we don't want them centered. I don't know. I think mine are split more than theirs, but that's okay. It's my card, not their card. Okay, and then what do I do with this? I'm going to place that so that those stitching areas are in that position, and then I'm going to stamp down here. So this one is meant kind of for a smaller stamp. There's not a lot of room. So if you see the picture, this particular card, there's not a lot of room unless you stamp over top of the red stitching, which may make the stamp more difficult to see. So, I'm going to stick with a small stamp. Son, dad, uncle's pretty small, friend. Let's go with, I don't know, all-star. I don't know. Let's see if uncle will fit. Trying to think of who I will give these to. Okay, new stamp means I have to clean it off a little bit. Get all that manufacturing residue off of there. And my navy blue ink. So I'm going to make sure that uncle fits in there. It's a little tight. Pretty good. Okay, and then that needs dimensionals. And whenever I have circles, I don't know why, I just do three dimensionals. And then this all-star needs dimensionals, but this is only going to be on top of this circle, so I'm only going to put dimensionals close to the inside of that one because I know it's layering on top of this circle, so I don't want any adhesive hanging over the side of the circle because it will be the wrong height. So uncle, it looks pretty close. Maybe they've got it dropped a little bit lower than center on the red piece. So I'm going to go about there, because when I put the all-star on top of that, see, and I think I've got it, I'd like that to be lower still, but that's okay. So I had to put my uncle image a little higher just because I needed to fit it, because it's a little wider than the sun one that they used. So this one, I feel like it's really covering up. Like if you look at their image, this is weird. If you look at theirs, they have quite a bit of the red showing on either side. But when I put mine down, it goes way farther over. You know why? Look at, I see a variation. So their all-star, it's cut quite tight on that label. The one that I have is not. That's why it doesn't look the same. It's not cut as tight as theirs. It's much more, like it has a much wider border. So I feel like I lose a lot of the effect that they're trying to achieve with that background behind this. So I'm going to go and just trim that off because it's going to bug me. So I already have my adhesive on the back, so I have to be careful not to stick it to myself while I'm cutting. It's fine. But now I can trim this down because they gave us more of an edge than they show in their sample. It's just die cut not as tightly, which changes the look quite a bit in my opinion. So I'm just kind of trying to keep approximately the same distance from everything and going slow to try to keep my cutting smooth. So it still isn't going to look like theirs because theirs is, cut by a machine, whereas mine is cut by hand, of course. But I think I will be happy with that. So then when I stick it on, now I can see more of the ball behind and the red. I actually want to trim this one a little bit more going in. To get a little more of an angle there. And that's pretty good. I can trim this one in a little bit more too, just to get a little more shape. So this is me not just, usually I just stick things down and go for it, but this is, I didn't like that they made it different. So there we go. Now I can see the ball and more of that red showing. And my swoop, they have their swoop going fairly, like actually going up so that the all-star is straight. You could have the all-star crooked, but I'm going to go with what they did, which is the all-star straight. There we go. So yeah, so I trimmed that down because it didn't match Initially, it didn't match their image very well. So mine's not trimmed as nicely as they would have done it. You can see if they had cut it the way that it shows in the picture, then you'd have some really nice, tightly trimmed, but mine's not quite the same. But it's better. Oh my goodness, pardon me. You know what? I have coffee here, and I've only drank half of it. I'm starting to feel coffee deprived, and I bet you it's cold. Not quite cold, but it's not hot. Okay. What else do we need for this one? We need some of the enamel dots. They put quite a few, and I don't know that I love how they put them on, but they've got kind of 5 on there. These ones feel like they're just sort of thrown on, which is fine. I put too much effort into where mine go. So I'll start with the 2 down there that they did. And then, I don't know. I'm going to do this. See, then I start being like, where am I going to put that one? It's not working. I always feel like 2 actually feels balanced to me more than 3 do. Especially when there's multiple colors. I think I don't like that there's 2 red ones. Let's just do this. Let's do that. And okay, now fine, I'll do another one. Again, it just doesn't want to go. Why? You guys, I have like, I'm gonna go there. That works for me. I have like an issue, a challenge when it comes to putting any kind of dots on. I always feel, I don't know, I feel like there's like a mathematical equation to get them in the right place. I don't know. I need to, okay, that one's done, just so you know. So we've got 2 down. But yeah, I feel like there's some sort of magical mathematical equation to figure out exactly the best position for those enamel dots. Like, you know, like the certain angle and then certain distances. I feel like I should be able to figure out some sort of mathematical equation so that I don't have to try to figure it out every time. Okay, next card. This one, I really like the layout of this one. So they have the wood green background card base as a start, and then we get to, well, let's do the one that I have already started. So then we get to use this very ketchup and mustard stripy, it's like Where's Waldo cousin, because it's not white and red, it's yellow and red. It's his cousin in Spain. I don't know. Okay. So then that just adheres directly, and they say to use the adhesive dots. So if you have the kit, then adhesive dots are there for your use. But again, I like my Tombow liquid glue. I'm loyal to my Tombow liquid glue. So my memories of playing baseball in that beer league that I was part of, one of my memories is I had a promise ring from a boyfriend. So it was like a 10-karat gold ring from a place called Consumers Distributing, which was a place in our mall, our local mall. And it was one of those places you go in and you order from a catalog, like you look through a catalog to choose what you want, and then you order your item. So I need 12 inches of baker's twine. Okay. And you order your item, and then, you know, you pay for it, and then they bring it out to you from their, you know, the back warehouse room or whatever. Anyway, so I had this promise ring and was playing baseball with my boyfriend who had given me the ring. And I caught a ball, and it must have been flying, that ball. It was flying pretty hard. and I caught it with my glove on, stung the stinker out of my hand. It hurt so bad. And it dented my ring. Like my 10-karat gold ring became D-shaped on my finger. That's how hard the ball hit my glove. So that's my memory of, oh, and then now I have another memory. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is taking me down memory lane. I have also the memory of the terrible beer that we actually drank. Terrible stuff. It was like, you know, I don't know. So I've become a bit of a beer snob, I'm sorry to say. But we drank Coors Light. Or Bud Light, something light. And now I think like that's not my style to drink that anymore. So it's kind of, I don't know, that's crazy. I've come a long way, baby. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, so we're using a glue dot for our looped thread again, and that's going to go, I think it's about halfway. So we'll just go about halfway. Does anybody drink Coors Light or Bud Light? I don't want to offend anybody. It's just a preference, right? I just don't like it. To me, it's like, I might as well just have water or juice. That's what it feels like when I drink those things. Now I like porters and like the darker beers. I really like porters, actually. Porters and stouts. I like the chocolatey coffee kind of flavors that you get with some of those. Okay, so that's the twine, just stuck in the middle with a glue dot or adhesive dot if you have an adhesive dot. And then they have us using You're the Best on, oh, I didn't pop that out yet, on this cool kind of flaggy thingy. I really like this. I think it's pretty cool. So that's going to go there with those ribbons sticking out the side, or ribbons, the twine. Okay, so then You're the Best is the stamps the stamp that they suggest, and I don't know. So You're the Greatest of All Time also fits, and You're the Best. And there's the All-Star stamp as well. So I'll stick with You're the Best. But I think if I was to do another one, I would throw on the You're the Greatest of All Time as well. You know, this is a pretty big stamp set for Paper Pumpkin, come to think of it. Like, it's usually you kind of get this much. I feel like we got a little bit more with this one. That's kind of cool. Okay, You're the Best. I need a block. And I, of course, as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I have all the blocks. And again, just cleaning off the residue from the manufacturing process so that I get a really good, get my ink sticking to the block nicely. A good even distribution of ink. Now sometimes, like, I have to admit, I'm a little nervous because this is such a solid image. I would be inclined to use my Stamparatus to stamp this so that if it doesn't stamp quite right, I can stamp it again in exactly the same spot using my Stamparatus. But I'm not going to pull out my Stamparatus because right now I want you to see, you know, making it with what you have. So if you don't have a Stamparatus, so I can already see there's a spot here for some reason that isn't getting ink, but mostly it looks pretty good. So I think we're going to be all right. I'm not sure why that spot isn't holding ink though. Maybe that won't be a problem once I stamp it. Maybe it will sort of fill in. Okay. So You're the Best, and then they put somebody's name. So this is pretty much center, I think. Center in the like rectangle portion of this. And I'm making sure that the You're the is straight, parallel with the top of this piece of paper. And because it is such a solid image, I'm just going to leave the stamp on there for like, 20 seconds or whatever. And then that way, not even 20 seconds, 5 seconds. That way it has time to kind of disperse and really find its place. I think that's stamped quite well. You can see though, like that spot that I took note of, it does have, it's missing ink in that one little spot. So it's kind of weird. I'm not sure. It could be a defect in the stamp. Sometimes you get that where a stamp has like a pit in it. So that could be, and I'm not too worried about it because it is so little. It's not going to be something that I'd call Stampin' Up! and deal with, have them replace it. But sometimes you might have like a large area with a pit in it, and that's when you definitely want to contact your demonstrator or Stampin' Up! Directly and ask them if they'd replace it, because that's a flaw. So I'm just using a blender pen, not part of the kit, but I can just fill in, like just sort of blend in some of the less solid areas. And it just pulls the ink around a little bit with the blender pen. Didn't really need to do that, but I thought I'd show you how that could, the blender pens are a handy tool for that. There's lots of ways to use the blender pens, but that's one that I find very useful, just correcting that little spot. Okay, so then they want us to use dimensionals. I keep burying my dimensionals in my supplies that I throw down beside me. Okay, so we've got dimensionals. I can probably, I want to do some on the corners, so I'll do that. Oh, I forgot this person. Who am I giving this to? I have to take these off. I haven't finished. You guys, you're supposed to shout out and say, Amy, wait, you forgot. Yes, that's what would happen if I was doing this in person. Somebody would say, well, don't you need to stamp the dad, uncle, son, mom, whatever? Yes, I do. Okay, let's go with, you know what? I've got uncle here. We're just going to go with uncle again. So, and that's what they used for this one. So, hey, I'm doing what I'm told. Okay, we've got uncle, and I have more uncles that play baseball than I do. My son doesn't play baseball. My dad doesn't play baseball. So they have uncle pretty much centered. So I will use my grid paper. I hope you have grid paper, you guys, because it's so helpful. It just helps you eyeball things, helps you measure center. It's very handy. You're the best, uncle. Or you're the best uncle. You're the best uncle. You're the best uncle. And these are, I don't know why, but these are bugging me a bit. I think I don't know. Now I'm getting fussy. This is what I do. I want those to be a little wider, but I think I'm going to have to go with that. Okay, now I can put those dimensionals on the back. And I'll throw one on the bottom there so that doesn't sag on me. And then that goes, they have it about 2 lines down from the top, plus a little bit, so about there. It's like a, what do you call those things, those banners that kids used to put on their walls back in the day? My brothers all had them. Those, oh, I can't think of the word. They'd be like a banner, and it would represent like a team or something. Help me out here, folks. Help me remember the name of those things. They would stick them on their wall. Okay, the last thing we need for this is some more of these cool dots. And again, I'm not in love with how they put theirs. These ones up here feel kind of thrown in. Pennant. Yes, thank you, Cindy. A pennant. My brother used to have, one of my brothers used to have pennants on his wall. I think that was something, was it the 80s that was more of a thing? I don't know. So we've got, they have 3 dots at the top. I'm just going to go with the one. I think I like the one up there. So there we go. That one's super cute and simple. So that's it, you guys. That's all of the cards that they have for us as is, and next, and then the envelopes that go with them. And then next week, join me next week, because I will be sharing alternative projects for this kit so that you can get some ideas of how to use this kit a little bit differently. That's kind of the plan. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll join me next week, and I hope you have a great week. And I'm gonna end with trying to chew a piece of this gum, and I'm gonna let you know let you know how it's really hard. Let you know how this gum is. I don't know if they really intended us to chew the gum, or if it's just like meant to be, nostalgic. But here we go. Pardon the noises that my mouth is going to make. Oh, hey, it's not too bad. It is hard. Okay. It's hard, but I think it's going to soften up as I work it. It has that good, like, old-fashioned bubblegum flavor that we all love. And I think it's going to have bubblegum blowing potential. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.